Welcome, Tanya, to our Women Who Make It Happen series.
Thank you.
Lovely to have you.
Lovely to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Perhaps you can give the audience a bit of an idea of your career to date.
Yes, well, firstly, I'm currently very privileged to be the CEO of the Charter Banker Institute at the moment. So that's my current role, and I'm absolutely delighted to be in that particular leadership role. It's a fantastic organisation, and I'm very privileged to be there. So that's where I am today. But it hasn't always been in those types of roles at all.
No.
And in fact, my career goes way back. I left school from college, so I chose to take the University of Life, as I would say to my father. Yes, I thought so at the time, and actually never regretted that either. Although I am a lifelong learner, so it's not about not learning and not understanding and taking on knowledge. It was just not the route for me.
Yes.
So very keen to get out into the workplace. I'll be honest, I fell into a banking career.
Okay, so it wasn't you didn't actively seek it?
No, I think, and many people probably laugh when they hear this, but I actually really wanted to be a policewoman, I think, at that age.
Okay.
But didn't go that route.
Yeah.
But when everyone at college was going, what should we do next? Somebody one day brought loads of application forms in for banks because they were recruiting heavily at that time. And I thought, everybody else was, I might as well just do an application, which is what I did. And I was very lucky to get several interviews and offers, but I chose to go in out west.
Brilliant.
And I entered on their management development program, which that was back in the very late 80s, early 90s, which at that time for a female and offering accelerated development was actually quite unusual.
Yes.
So I was very lucky, very privileged to be in that career place, but actually that taught me so much about everything in banks and branches, from working right at the customer at the front line and delivering teas and sweeping safes in those days.
Oh my word.
Right the way through to understanding more broadly about securities, the world of treasury, as well as much more around business and commercial banking as well. So I was very lucky to do that for about the first 10 years of my life, probably even less than that.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, because I've been so lucky, it almost felt like, well, this is a bit easy, bit nice. My father was a very deeply rooted entrepreneur, and I think I had the itch like he had. And so when I was in my late 20s, I left the bank and we set up a 24/7, 365-day-a-week hotel.
Wow.
Huge 34-bedroom place. A huge change. And actually, though, Sue, I have taken that all the way through my career, because what it taught me was about people.
Okay, in what way?
Well, when you work in a large organisation, and I happened to work in NatWest at that time, but it could have been anywhere, on a management development programme, you're working alongside some well-motivated, engaged individuals a lot of the time. The organisations look after you very well. They give you very good training. You compare that to a hospitality industry that's on nearly, at that stage, 0-hour contracts. Turnover was hugely high. It was all shift pattern working. It was all part-time working. No training and development. It was a very, very different place. So what it taught me was about the power of people and what motivates people, and actually how do you then help them be the best they can be whilst they're at work, which takes up the bulk of their time. If they truly thought of work as a 0 hours contract, then that's a really tough place to be for a long time. And I'd come from a very lovely environment, a good culture, well supported, and I wanted to bring some of that into the hospitality industry. And for us, we had the hotel for 5 years, was always the plan. I was the general manager and director there, but I did everything. I learned how to do the cleaning. I was a commis chef. I did the night portering, so that I could truly understand the work.
The work that the people were doing.
To understand what does it mean to them, and how I can help them make sure they've got the best skills, but they're well motivated to do that, and actually that they feel like they're learning and there experiencing the best of themselves, because actually, bottom line is, being commercial, you have to have the best people in front of your customers. So the second piece on people wasn't just about the people that we looked after and we employed, but it was about the commercialism and driving the right outcome for our customers.
Yes.
Because owning your own business suddenly brings that into very sharp focus. Whereas when you're in a big corporate organisation, a lot of the time, you don't have that P&L responsibility.
No, you're a bit shielded, aren't you?
We did. So we bought the hotel in receivership. It was always a 5-year plan, and after 5 years, we did the turnaround we expected. We sold out to a FTSE 100.
Oh, wow.
And at the point of that stage, I was sitting there going, well, what do I want to do now? And I'd never wanted to be in hospitality. It was never my desire to be a hotelier, although I'd loved it.
Yeah.
And I knew finance was probably my calling. Having done business at college, it was sort of my background. And we had stayed very closely in touch with NatWest, who'd been our business bankers at the time, and they asked me to go back on a fixed-term contract at that stage, because they weren't recruiting at that stage.
Yeah.
And I rejoined, but I rejoined in it with a different mindset and a different skill set, which I think they recognised and I recognised. And I wanted to, instead of being in functional roles in central lending or centralised securities, I wanted to be out with the customers.
Yeah.
That's what I loved doing in the hotel, and that's where I wanted to go back to. So I did, and over the course of the next few years, worked through the organisation in banking, looking after both retail, frontline branch customers, but also our wealth customers, and also across our commercial and business-based relationshiping. So I had a broad reach then, both on the front line, which I love doing, but actually having got that entrepreneurial thing in me, I was probably getting a bit frustrated about how much can I really influence to help people be the best. So I still carried this desire of learning and helping people, and actually wanted to find a way of broadly influencing that, more so than being an area director or even a regional director, which is where I landed. And so I was very lucky to be part of a piece of work that actually introduced coaching and learning into the organisation. At a period when we had some changes as CEO, and my career therefore took quite a diverse change then, from being very frontline leader-led and looking after and working with people on the front line, to actually becoming a little bit more middle ground in this special space, which is not quite fully functional in a bank, but actually stays quite close to the front line, but holds the responsibility for supporting. And I, in that time, became an executive coach personally. I worked across the coaching team, and I latterly became one of the leads and heads of the learning for our retail bank.
Oh, wow.
So I sort of was moving along this career that was taking me into a people space, but actually at leadership and influencing level, which is where I felt I could really add value. And worked in there for a number of years, including then broadening my skills across transformation and thinking about how do you do that while the organisation, as we see everywhere in every industry, is changing. Digital advancements, what does that mean for the world of developing people and upskilling and bringing capability to the fore, and also professionalising them in a way that actually makes them supportive of their future career, and future-proofs them outside of the role they're doing. So I did that for a number of years, and at that time I was working a lot with external organisations, whether that was consultancy or indeed the institute that I'm now working with.
Oh, that's nice.
And it was sort of a lovely way for me in early 2023, where I was given the opportunity to come across to be the Director of Education for the Institute. Which sort of felt like everything had come together in a strong way. Absolutely. My learning myself personally, but all my skills of being able to, I hope, help people be the best they can be and provide that leadership to getting there, really worked for me, and I felt it was sort of like finally getting to the place where I wanted to be. And then, having been there for a couple of years and being able to work more broadly across the organisation and with the board, take on the role role as leader of that is it feels like a real, this is where I was meant to be.
Yeah, which is amazing. What an amazing career you've had to date.
I hope so. To date, yes. To date, yeah, absolutely.
To date, yes.
Yeah.
There's more to come.
Indeed, I hope so, yeah.
So, going back through your career, have there been any real strong female mentors, or has it been a mix of male? I know your dad was one of your
he was, yes,
mentors, or someone to look up to,
yes,
as he was so entrepreneurial.
Yes, you're right. I think my father was probably my first real mentor stroke role model. Yes. I always aspired to be as go-getting but in the right way. He was a lovely man with it, which is what I always try and be. So he was definitely my first key real role model. But in my career, I think, I'll be honest, I've learned from so many people. Yeah. And I always learn from people that I can't call one person. But early in my senior leadership career, I had a great conversation with a female leader who we were talking about mobility.
Okay.
And I think for females, particularly when you're thinking about different career and different drivers, you have families, and mobility and travelling is always a thing. Yeah. And sometimes we've been in a position where we're maybe looked upon as not being mobile or not being able to travel because we have a family. And I remember this great conversation with this female leader who was fantastic, who said, if you want to do the job, I'm not interested in where you live. Because I know if you want to do the job, you'll do what you need to do. Yeah. And that again was a sort of a bit of a aha moment, which is you open the door to people, and if you believe they've got the right attitude and they've got the aptitude to do it, then they'll find a way of making it happen, which is what I've always taken. Yeah. And a second piece, but it was a male said this to me, and this has stuck with me. So it just tells you, it was a long time ago. It's probably, goodness me, I'm going back probably about 20 years, but again, a line manager said to me once, and again, not somebody I'd always take everything from, but it's just bits that you take from people that are important. He once said to me that if you want to be serious as a leader, and if you want to work with big transformational organisations, wherever that is, then yes, stick true to your values, but also you have to be a chameleon. You have to think about, how do you move and adapt? And it was all the early adaptation. If you think about now, key competencies and power skills that people have, being adaptable and being open to change
is massive.
It's huge. And I think it's a challenge. I do think it's a challenge for upcoming generations to feel that change and be able to manage it. But adaptability also requires resilience. Yes. So in a strange way, that very short conversation think about how you become a chameleon really stuck with me, because it's much broader. It's how do you build resilience about change? How do you manage change? How do you support others through change? And how adaptable are you prepared to be against your value set? So they were two very key takeaways. But I'm also very lucky that I have a very strong mentor and coach. Oh, that's good. And he's a very dear friend now, as well as a very strong coach. And I think for anybody, even in today's technology where you can have an AI coach, having somebody as an individual that can get you and your vulnerabilities, I think is really important to making sure you stay open to somebody who's going to challenge your thinking and challenge who you are against your values. So I've been lucky in my life that I've had many people that I've learned lots of good things from, and lots of things where I think, if I was in that position, I hope I don't do the same thing.
And how do you then translate that into a leadership role? How do you I suppose, inspire the next leaders coming through?
It's a great question, because I think it's really tough. I think it's really tough, people at the moment. And obviously I'm sitting in the financial services industry, and that's a massive changing industry. But if we look at social world around us, there's so many headwinds and emerging different trends and technologies that our new generation coming through has to cope with that I never had to. You probably never had to either. And you think, actually, how do you help them find their feet? And I think the first thing, and I say this to my two children, is I jumped into a career at 18. Yes. And I'm not saying that was wrong. I've enjoyed it enormously so far. But what I have learned over the years is that you have time. You don't have to rush to be the next person or the next leader by the time you're 20. You have time, and I think more so than ever before, because the world shrunk with technology, the opportunities are much wider. I think generationally, especially, as I said, I'm talking to my children, saying, find your way. You can take some time to go and explore and discover you as a person and where your value set is. And I think that's what I did by moving away from banking to start with, and going and exploring a different industry, a different way. I actually found my thing. I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know it was going to be about learning, supporting and trying to grow and professionalise people. I thought it was much more going to be about business and finance. And being a policewoman. So I think, taking the time to try and understand who you are a little bit, and trying out some different industries. And we'll see now on CVs, people will change career a lot.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's a bad thing. Whereas probably in my time when I was that age, it was almost frowned on, because you had to have a job for life, you had to have a career.
Oh gosh, 30 years in one industry.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And you sort of grow as a thin pencil person. And therefore my advice for future aspiring leaders is to think about how broad you can be. And I know, I'm sure it's used in many places, but being a T-shaped leader is something that definitely I lean into, and I agree with hugely, particularly when you start to get more senior roles. So in my role now, I'm enormously grateful for all the massive breadth of career that I had whilst I've been in banking. I've been a leader, I've been in finance oversight, I've done transformation and change, I've run operation teams, I've done learning, I've done professionalising, I've done risk, I've done control, I've done strategy, but I've been in banking. And actually on paper, if you thought she'd just been in banking, you probably wouldn't appreciate the breadth of roles that type of career can give. So become broad would be my take. Understand you, so have your deep specialism. Mine is clearly around coaching, professionalising, learning and development, but have the breadth of skill if you want to become that leader that enables you to understand why risk and governance is so important, and having that core framework of an organisation is critical for you.
Absolutely.
That and then allows you to make sure also that you're building the right team around you. And actually, that's what I feel my leadership, I hope, reflects, is it's not me as the leader, it's my team. The team do the work. I mean, I'm in the great place where I can just help them and coach them and give them some playback and some ideas. But building a psychologically safe team environment where I'm taking the responsibility and the accountability and the direction, but actually the team there feels they're in a place where they can be creative, they can be innovative, because they have this great space to work in. Actually gets the best outcomes for the organisation or for the business, whatever it is you're working for. So think broadly. Understand where you want to play. So what's your specialism? Be and allow a team to grow in a psychologically safe space that gets great innovative ideas, and be creative would be, I hope, where I take my leadership.
Brilliant. And in terms of takeaways, if you were, what advice would you give your younger self? Excuse me, voice is going today.
I definitely think that piece about not trying to be perfect all the time, and rushing to the first outcome. So to my point, 18, I left school, I had a breather for about a week, and I went straight into a career. It was like the thing to do. When I finished my summer holiday, I'm going straight into work. And I think had I stopped and breathed a little bit, I might have explored who I was earlier in life, and I might have understood myself better in life, rather than probably trying to create and be always being like, it need to be right all the time, be perfect all the time. And I think it's a challenge, perhaps more for females. I don't know. I read statistics and papers. I'm not going to say it's absolutely so, but it feels like females have this desire not to be seen as anything other than sometimes the right answer or the right outcome. And that's not the case. It's absolutely not the case. And actually getting things wrong is a great way to learn, and it's quite a fun way to learn sometimes, not all the time. So I think take time to understand yourself would be my first advice to my younger self, and know that you're not going to get it right all the time. And be comfortable in your own skin to know that's what's going to happen.
I think that's something that people always worry about getting, especially women worry about getting things wrong. And I think that's where you grow.
Yeah,
You learn from
think
your
you're absolutely
mistakes.
right. You do, and I think, you know, and it's back to I was talking to somebody the other day about this new role, and I said there will still be days when I'll wake up with imposter syndrome.
Yes.
And I thought I've dealt with that, you know, but you don't ever deal with it.
No.
It's always there at some point. And I think females do feel that more so, less so now I think than probably 20 years ago, but more support and more recognition, more coaching and help provides that. But being able to be your authentic self every day is how I'm loving living my leadership life now.
Brilliant.
Because that's the best way you can be every day.
Yeah, I think driving and using your values and driving your career through your values is an amazing thing to do.
Yeah.
And that's how people are going to enjoy their careers going forward. And I'm seeing it more from a recruitment perspective.
That's interesting.
Values is really high up there on people's wants. It's not just about the role anymore.
No.
Companies have to align to the values.
Absolutely, and I think that sits perfectly alongside purpose as well, doesn't it? And interestingly, I've just recruited one of my senior leads into my team, and the conversation we've been having is very much that our values align as leaders.
Yes,
our purpose aligns, and actually the reason he's joining is for that reason.
There we go.
And that is really important to me, but it's important for the organisation to have people that are aligned to values. And I think people leave, I know it's the old adage, people leave leaders, but they also leave organisations at times when the values of the organisation, perhaps driven by leaders, changes or diverges from their own.
Yes.
And you know, that's something, again, as I've got older, that's become more and more important to me, is to stay close to my value set.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Tanya, for our conversation.
Thank you.
Some very good takeaways for people. Take time in your earlier career to understand your true self.
Yes.
Lovely to meet you.
And you. Thank you very much, Sue.
Thank you.